Have you ever heard the phrase mountaintop experience? If you have, you probably heard it in the metaphorical sense. A mountaintop experience is a life highlight. Your high school graduation, the birth of a child, your wedding, an amazing vacation, things you'll remember for the rest of your life. And there's good reason we call them mountaintop experiences. All throughout the Bible, people have amazing experiences on top of mountains, literally. Take Moses. He spends 40 days on a mountain with God. For the first 6 days, he just sits there waiting. On the seventh day, God speaks. Then they have this face-to-face conversation that results in the 10 Commandments being written on 2 stone tablets. When he comes down from the mountain, his face glows so brightly that he has to cover it. A few hundred years later, Elijah climbs Mount Carmel, where he encounters 450 prophets of Baal. He challenges them to a duel to see who the real God is. They each build an altar and try to call fire down from heaven from their God. When the prophets of Baal fail, Elijah takes water and pours it over his altar 3 times. Then he asks God to show the people who the real God is. Fire comes from heaven, licks up the water, burns up the bull, burns up the wood, burns up the stones. And the people fall on their faces and exclaim, "The Lord, He is God. The Lord, He is God." When Jesus walks the earth, he takes Peter, James, and John up to a high mountain. Once there, Jesus' clothes become dazzling white. The Bible says whiter than anyone in the world could bleach them. And Moses appears on one side and Elijah on the other. And then a loud voice from heaven calls out, "This is my son whom I love. Listen to him." Each of these literal mountaintop experiences results in a renewed faith and a new relationship with the Lord, which is probably why we most often use this phrase to refer to a life-changing encounter with God. This week, I'm thinking a lot about mountaintop experiences, both the literal ones and the metaphorical ones. I'm speaking at camp right now in Colorado that is quite literally on top of a mountain. It's the same camp I came to my first year as a youth pastor back in 1984. I absolutely love it here. At camp, you live in a cabin with 6 other people. You share a bathroom instead of getting your own. You eat meals in community. And every day, space is made to sit in God's creation and spend time alone with Him. Then every night, you gather as a community and worship God and hear His Word. It's not a vacation. This isn't just about entertainment and relaxation. At camp, there's an intentional focus on God and your relationship with Him. Every year, it seems like everyone at camp sees and experiences God in new ways. It's a mountaintop experience for all of us. Right now, we're actually filming in this chapel at the camp. This place for me is holy ground. Over the years, I've seen thousands of lives changed in this chapel on this mountain. Because here at camp, we're reminded, or maybe experienced for the very first time, that God is real. Unfortunately, we can't all go to camp every year. But here's the secret. You don't need a mountain to have a mountaintop experience. You don't need a camp. You don't have to be thousands of miles from home. You just need to make space for God and intentionally seek Him out. In the book of Exodus, Moses tells God that he wants to see His presence with a capital P. It's kind of a weird request considering that God is always with us. But Moses is asking for something different. He wants a real face-to-face encounter with God. God grants his request, and Moses gets to see the glory of God. When's the last time you had a mountaintop experience? When's the last time you had a personal, real encounter with God? What will it take for you to clear your schedule and ask God to show you His glory?